Hey everyone, Pastor Tom here. I'm so glad that you are watching this video because today I want to talk to you about what we know about God. And to do this, I want to start off by showing you this picture and ask you the question, what do you know about this house? What do you know about this house? It's blue. There's a sidewalk. There's some plants. It has a nice green yard. Uh, Fences. Looks like a nice house. Nice big windows. What do you know about this house? Kind of one of those trick questions. You know that this house was built by someone. Someone had to build that house. When I showed you that picture, did you think, oh, you know how this house came to be? There was like this big explosion, and this explosion built like this house exactly upright, and it kind of just appeared after years and years and years. It just appeared. No, that's ridiculous. If you take a walk around your neighborhood and you look at a house, you think someone must have built that house. And that's important to know because the same is true with the world we live in. When you look at this world around you, there are things that take your breath away. And we understand that somebody had to have built this world. Somebody had to make it. And that leads to the first Bible passage I want to share with you. For every house is built by someone, but God is the builder of everything. God built everything. Everything that you can see, it was built by God. God is the one who made it. He is the builder of everything. And you know that because there are some things that you've seen in nature that have just taken your breath away. Maybe it's something like Niagara Falls, where you felt the mist and you've seen just the gallons of water gushing out second after second at this giant waterfall. Maybe you had your breath taken away at the Grand Canyon. I've been to the Grand Canyon before, and it's just so grand. I think is the right word. It's a Grand Canyon. Or maybe you look up at the stars and you can't count any of them. And then scientists tell you that there are billions of galaxies that have even more stars, billions and billions and more, and you just are taken back by how giant our universe is. But then just look at yourself and your own human body. Think about how complex it is. Have you thought about how wonderful your eyes are? That you can see things up close, you can see things far away. Have you ever gone somewhere and you try to take a picture of it and you're like, this picture just doesn't do it justice. You have to see it yourself. And that just shows how wonderful your eye is. And scientists, they keep studying the body, the human body. Doctors, they have to go to school for such a long time to learn about the body because it's so complex, so wonderful, and it works together so magnificently. So whether you're looking at something far away or you're looking at your own life and your own body, you understand that this isn't an accident. You aren't an accident. There wasn't a grand bang that just put you together. There wasn't some big bang that put this world together. There was a creator. There was a designer who formed you and knit you together. Romans 1 verse 20 says, "For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that men are without excuse." What this passage is saying is that you can learn a lot of things about God just by looking around you. When you look at the Grand Canyon, you can understand that there is someone out there who is very powerful. When you look at your human body, you can understand that there is someone out there who is very wise, someone who knit you together. You can learn that simply by looking at creation. And this passage says that if you're somebody that's just like, God isn't real, this place just kaboom came into be, we don't really know how, but it just happened. This passage says you're without excuse. You should be looking for God because God is real. He made this place. He made this universe. You can't say that it was an accident. And that leads to a theological term that I want to teach you today. It's called the natural knowledge of God. The natural knowledge of God. And simply put, it's what we can learn about God from nature. The things that we can learn about God just by looking at the world around us. By looking at the world around us, you can learn that God is big and powerful and wise. But when you look in your own life and you feel your guilty conscience, you feel how small you are, that shows that there's something broken in this world. Because not only when you look at this world do you see that things are big and wonderful, but you also see darkness and evil and terrible things out there in this world. And you feel that guilt in your own heart as well. And you can know that from nature just by looking at the world around you. But that's only half the story. There's so much more, and that comes from the Bible. In John 20, verse 31, it says, "These are written that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name." The Bible was given to us for one reason, so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Savior, and that believing that message you may have life eternal in his name. That's why we have the Bible. The Bible isn't just some ancient history book there to record some stories. The whole reason why we have the Bible is so that people can know that Jesus is the Savior and so that you can go to heaven one day. And you can't learn that by looking at a tree. You can't learn that by looking at the Grand Canyon. You can't learn that by looking at your human body. You need to physically open up a Bible and to learn that. And the Bible, it really teaches two main messages for you that you learn from the Bible. It teaches you that you are sinful. There is something wrong with you. There is something deeply messed up with you. There is an evil inside your heart. And that makes us terrified because we don't know what to do with that. God tells you that he sends sinners to hell. And that should make us shudder even more. But there's a wonderful message. That you are deeply loved by God. The reason why God has given us a Bible is because he loves us. Because he saw that evil condition in our heart, so he came to save us. And to give you a couple Bible passages, Romans 3 says, "All have turned away, they have become worthless. There is no one who does good, not even one." If you think to yourself, but I'm a pretty good person, God must love me because I'm a pretty good person, right? This passage says no. It says all people have turned away. There is no one who does good. It's like we're drowning. It's like we're drowning in our own sin and there's nothing we can do about it. But here's the good news. God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. We have life in Jesus Christ because God is love. He deeply loves you. He cares about you. He cares about you so much that he sent his Son to this world so that he could die in your place. And since Jesus lived a perfect life, he gives you perfection. And since Jesus rose from the dead, he tells you that you will rise from the dead too and that you can have heaven. That's what we learn only from the Bible. And we call that the revealed knowledge of God. What we learn about God from the Bible. Because you can learn about God from the world. You can see that he's really big. But to know that you are sinful, but that you have a Savior named Jesus, you can only learn about that from the Bible. So those are the two theological terms I wanted to teach you. There's a little chart here to show you the differences between the two. There's the natural knowledge of God on one hand and the revealed knowledge of God on the other. The natural knowledge of God teaches that God is wise and powerful. You can learn about that by looking at nature. But it also teaches us that you have a guilty conscience. But on the other side, the revealed knowledge of God, what we learn about God from the Bible, it teaches us that we are sinful and deserve hell. But the good news is that Jesus died on the cross for us so that we can have heaven, that we have been saved by Jesus. And the revealed knowledge of God is anything else that the Bible teaches. Anything else that is taught by the Bible, you need to learn that by physically reading the Bible. So there you have it. That's what we learn about God from nature and from his word. God blessings to all of you.